Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the Nata PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At Nata PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to this 46th episode of the Nata PR School podcast. PR and marketing laws, rule number 7, the law of first. The law of first, or the law of leadership, is probably a law that's really familiar to all of us. Let's see if you can name the first brands that come to your mind. And of course, for most consumers in North America or elsewhere in the world. If I ask you to name me a laundry brand in North America, Tide. Yes, Tide should come to mind. A luxury brand of women's clothing, international high luxury brand. You'll probably name Chanel. If I ask you name a most popular soft drink in the world, Coca-Cola should come to mind. If I ask you name me a coveted sports car, Ferrari, probably. And a leading brand of ibuprofen, Advil. So this is just a quick example. Sometimes we forget how this law is extremely powerful. You may have heard that to be first, you just need to create a category where you are first. Makes sense, right? So you can create your own category. This is partly true, and yes, it's easier to get into the minds of consumers when the brand is first in its category instead of wasting a lot of energy and time and resources explaining why your brand is better than aspirin, let's say, or Volvo. Let's keep going with this law. If I ask you, who discovered America? What's your very, very first response? You'll probably name Christopher Columbus, right? He arrived in America in 1492. Because this is what we have learned in the storybooks. This is what we were taught in school. But for many years, researchers are telling us that the Vikings got there much earlier, and that one of their great leaders, please forgive me, I'm not going to name his name right, but Leif Erikson left traces of his passage around the year 1000, almost 500 years before Christopher Columbus. That's a lot. So you see, this law of the first really applies to many things in our life. Let's switch category now and let's move to media. And so which fashion magazine comes to mind? If you live in America, you will probably name Vogue magazine as a reference for fashion. And if you're French, it will probably be Elle magazine. The law of first applies to just about everything and really all categories of products. It's powerful since the brand often ends up replacing the name of the product, as we saw in some previous podcasts. For example, Frigidaire, iPad, Google are so strong now. They're obviously the first in their categories. They even sometimes replace the name, the product, the name of the product. just closer to my work and what I do, I've watched Canada Goose. You probably know those amazing coats. And I saw how they really became first in this category of the warmest coat in the world. So, and it didn't happen overnight. Obviously, it really scored a coup in managing to be exported all over the world as well. So it's a great success. If you do an online research and you're looking for a winter coat, chances are you will see Canada Goose images pop up or different clickable links that will send you to Canada Goose because they are sold in so many places now. I've witnessed this brand, like we knew this brand, but it was kind of an old brand that existed in Canada for many years, and we saw it really explode. It didn't happen overnight, and they really now are owning the category of the warmest coat. So they became first in a category. So even if you're a brand and you've been around for a while, you might decide to take the lead in your category. Isn't it interesting? And they really used public relations. They played it so well. It was like public relations really played a major role in the way they expanded and became first in their category. So they did some tactics that seems to be today like obvious, but they were really good at presenting new products and styles to the media. They donated coats to celebrities. It's really a textbook case, really. It's a very good example on how to become first in your category. When a European settles in Montreal or anywhere in North America, it's a safe bet that they'll buy themselves a Canada Goose. And by the way, French friends, amis français, please know that this is how we recognize you in the winter. If you move to Toronto or Montreal or even New York or any other city in North America, we will recognize you because you wear your Canada Goose in the winter. And Lululemon is also another perfect example of the law of first. In North America, if you ask your partner to name a brand of yoga wear, if you ask the woman in your life or a woman friend to name you a yoga brand, she will probably name Lululemon. That brand was founded in 1998. It's another Canadian brand out of Vancouver, and it took over the yoga category quite rapidly before anyone really understood that the yoga phenomenon would be crazy, and it's still not over. And nobody could predict how popular it would become in North America. This is also another extremely interesting case, and I will definitely come back to it with a future podcast. But let's go back to our law of first. So how do you get to be first in your category? Even if you don't, there are fortunately other laws that can help you, including the law of words. Like, we mentioned many other words in previous podcasts, so you can go back and listen to them. So you don't need to be first to be successful, obviously, but you see how your life might be easier if you become first in a category. But you have the law of perception that can help you, the law of trends. There are so many interesting laws. And I can mention le Cirque du Soleil. We saw, I'm Canadian, so we saw and we know the whole story of the Cirque du Soleil. It's not a new category, but they became first in the world now. When you think about a cirque, good chances you will name Cirque du Soleil. Interesting. And well, you know now that internet is really a game changer for small brands who are becoming very famous fast sometimes. And then there's another problem. Sometimes it's really hard to stay first long. But I saw small beauty brands, for example, who's really using artificial intelligence, and they link it to how you can select your own cream, and that they will make your cream on demand. So it's a whole story, very interesting, but they were smart enough to use this, and they're kind of the first in their category right now. It's going to be fun to see how they will grow. Voila. So if you're interested to discuss any of these laws and you want to exchange with me, please book for a free consultation. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions and help you think. And I hope this podcast does that, because that's the whole idea. In less than 15 minutes, sometimes give you the chance to stop and think about your own company, your products, what you are creating, and maybe help you find new ideas to promote your services or your product. Hopefully you've learned a few things and that you will be there la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the Nata PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.